So, so we had some ideas for tonight's topic. We like to take on the hard questions, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes the questions are too hard. Sometimes the questions are...
But you expand yourself when you tackle the hard questions.
Right.
You force yourself to think.
Right.
Instead of just saying, oh, screw it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever.
So let's hit this one like you mentioned. I don't mind this one at all. Last time we were on here, we did What's the Purpose of Life? And that was episode 3. And I think we missed it. And I want to go back to the YouTube video and put the answer on, because you came with personal growth and learning things.
I think I didn't explain myself good. What I was thinking didn't come out right.
Well, hit it now. Revisit it.
I'm not prepared, but I know love would be in there. That's part of the personal growth thing. Learning how to be more loving is part of bettering yourself.
I'm thinking the purpose of life is specific to the individual. So there's 9 billion individuals. There's 9 billion purposes in life.
Yeah, it could be specific to the individual, but I think it would still fall into a certain category.
Right.
Whether it's a passion or whatever, it would still be a passion.
Right. I'm saying that, you only live once. We're animals, believe it or not.
Let's say it's music. For somebody, it's music. Somebody else is photography.
Right.
That would still be a passion.
Or gambling.
It would fall under the umbrella of passion.
Right. Or how high can I get and how long can I get high?
Right. That would be their passion.
Yeah.
That's what Joseph Campbell said. Find your passion.
Okay.
His was mythology.
So mine was, feelings of love. I hate to admit that as a man.
That's what I'm going with. Find your passion.
All right.
Passion. Your passion is the meaning of life.
Your passion fruit.
Whatever your passion, whatever your interest is your passion. So that is...
Whatever gets you out of bed in the morning.
I don't think that you can argue with that.
Right.
Joseph Campbell was right.
Well, somebody recently argued with me about that and said it was a non-religious viewpoint.
Passion of the Christ.
Yeah. And I'm not stopping you from, doing whatever you're doing.
That's right. It's a free country.
So that was last. So what I wanted to conclude that,
yes,
is that, and exactly what you're saying is that, so for humans who are a long-lived, emotional, self-aware animal, whatever gives meaning to your life, whatever your passion is that gives meaning to your life is the purpose of life. We're kind of mixing meaning and purpose. But that was last week, and we're off of that.
Yeah.
We stuck a fork in that one.
Well, okay, I'll drop it.
You got it. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
So we're kind of taking the other end of the spectrum this week, and let's broaden a little bit, okay? Let's broaden it. Yeah, I'm gonna throw you a curve.
Oh, great.
You ready?
Yeah.
How did we get here?
On this planet?
How did we, the Talking Heads, how's it go?
What?
How did we, you might find yourself living in a shotgun shack. You might find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. You may ask yourself, how did I get here? So how did the professor end up in this zip code on this May 1st night?
Should I start from the beginning?
The beginning of time.
The Big Bang?
13.8 billion.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
We may never know.
It's probably beyond our knowing. We'll never know accurately.
Until we get out of the system, we're not going to know where the system came from. Until we can step back away from it and look inside of it from the outside, it's just a speculation. They're not even 100% sure that the Big Bang, they like to talk, not whoever they are.
Right.
People like to talk like the Big Bang's a scientific fact, but it's not. It's just the best fit.
So we can only go back as far as we know.
As far as we know, and as far as our telescopes can see, that's kind of the same thing.
Well, I'm looking at closer than that. Like, your parents are still alive. So let's say they're born in, what'd you say, 44?
49.
49. So back to 49 with your dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's not he's not, we're not in the Matrix. We're not Keanu Reeves. We're not a brain sitting in tanks getting chemicals. If we are, man, I'm taking a lot of suffering this year. You know, give me some good happy chemicals. I think you just suffer to the end. But, so you agree you can get back to 49 with your dad?
Yes.
I got buddies. I got a friend that, she's 93. She's the same age as Queen of England. She was in Hitler's Germany when she's 16. She's German. And this is a story, and a lot of people know me. I've told this before, but she said she hid underneath a train engine when a British Spitfire was shooting bullets at her, and the train engine stopped the bullets.
Nice.
And she's 16. And now she's here, and she's 93, and she's still in her wits. She texts me. She draws paintings. She paints paintings. She draws drawings. She buys and sells antiques, sharp as a tack. How do you get there? So 93 from 2020, what year's that? I don't know.
27?
27. So when we get to 27, I had an aunt about that same age. I had my grandmother from 1909, you know.
I had a great-grandmother who was born in 1903. No, 1900.
Okay, 1903's first airplane, Wright brothers. So we can go back that far. We can't. I mean, 13.8 billion can't get there from here. You can postulate. And one good thing about 9 billion people on the planet, we got a lot of scientists. We got a lot of brains looking at stuff, and they like to. And humans like to correct and beat each other, right? So, you know, redshift, Doppler shift, dark matter, dark energy. Dark energy is, you know what I'm saying, quarks, and they just trying to beat each other. So at least competition drives maybe truth.
Yeah. Or drives lying to hide the fact that you don't know.
Well, they check and try to beat each other probably.
Okay.
You know.
I'll allow it.
And you know why they do it? You know why they produce the scientific papers and check and try to get their name and recognition? You know why they do it?
To leave something behind?
They do it all for the nookie. I swear to God, nobody can argue me on that one, right? They're doing it for the nookie. Hey, I published a paper on dark energy and quantum physics, and it was accepted by my peers, and nobody's disputed it. And okay, baby, come on over.
Oh, that turns me on.
Come on over.
They do it for the college kids.
Well, they do it for whatever, whoever, whatever. That's the
They
whole.
do it for prestige.
That's what's motivated everything on Earth, right? The pyramids.
Yeah, power.
Just trying to get laid. The Los Angeles, landing on the moon in the big pecker-shaped Saturn V. I'm taking my pecker to the moon. Beat that, Russia.
To the moon.
And the no pun intended.
Phallus. And the obelisk.
Right? And then there
Washington's
wasn't any women
monuments.
on the moon, was there?
Nope. I don't think a woman's ever been to the moon.
No. They've only been about 150 miles up, the farthest woman.
That's not good.
You're cracking me up because you sound like darkness. Where were we? They do it all for the nookie, the scientists. So we can get back to 1900 with our relatives. You know, I've got some in 1800s.
Well, my mom does genealogy, so I can get back to at least the 1700s, if you believe that all the paperwork's correct.
We're still humans in 1700.
Yeah.
We're not Australopithecus. How do you say it?
Australopithecus.
Right.
Australopithecus.
So how did you get here? And almost 190-pound primate. What created life? And here's a question for you. And we can go back to nutrients, lightning, you know, Jupiter, whatever, nitrogen, DNA, in millions of years of time. But how come we can't create life in the test tube in the laboratory?
I was thinking about that, but my thought was, what about if we create a computer simulation with all the elements and electricity, lightning, and
Pressure.
whatever else, pressure, gravity, throw it all together and speed it up real fast and see what happens.
That should work.
I guess nothing would happen.
I don't. But here's the only thing I can think of. Right? If it's just a bunch of chemicals started replicating, and that's kind of simplification of it. The one thing that took a year. It took billions of years. So let's say you had the chemicals, and you know, I kind of don't want to go down this because this is a hackneyed path. Hackneyed, which means, you know, other people have hit it before. So you got certain chemicals, carbon, whatever, nitrogen, and you got a billion years, and you got electricity and rain and pressure and temperature, and
And
you think life.
it just has to be the simplest form of life that consumes non-organic material and it can reproduce itself. That's all it has to do.
So I don't have emotional buy-in that happened. I mean, I hope it happened.
Had to happen at least once, unless you believe in God.
Right. And that takes everything off the table.
And God could have done it. So
Yeah.
or a being or a power.
Right.
My theory is, personally, I don't believe in a individual being who created everything. I believe more of it as like a force, like gravity or electricity, a force of life that came from outside of our universe, and sort of like injected life into this system, injected the I'd say momentum or pressure to create, and then as it builds up, it gets its foothold in there into a very simple organism, like I said, that can barely reproduce itself, but it keeps going. It doesn't go backwards, it goes forward, and it keeps getting slowly and slowly more complex over 14 billion years. And we have us. 14 billion years from now, who knows what's going to be. I mean, it's going to be amazing. Probably deities humanity will have evolved into some kind of a deity.
Unless we have the great filtering. You heard about that?
No.
Everybody's got everything figured out because there's so many humans. I'll come back to that. I'll come back in a second. But one thing I do just in my life is like, I don't want to kill anything that's alive, right? I mean, of course, we're eating hamburgers. I hate that.
Life has to consume life.
I'll kill flies and mosquitoes and silverfish. But if it's a bug that, like a big spider, I'll throw it outside. I don't want to take the spark of life from something. At least it has a spark of life.
Where does that energy go when you kill it?
Who knows if it's energy? It's oxygen.
Well, it's some kind of energy.
I squished some bug today. I'll be honest with you. You ever seen those kissing beetles that supposedly they kiss you on the lip and you get infected?
No.
I don't know if it's a kissing beetle. It looked like one, so it's just death by association in my house.
Yeah.
And try to kill it quick. And really, when you and I die, we just there's no more oxygen. We quit. There's oxygen quits. Whatever. What's the thing that oxygen mixes with to make energy? There's a cycle. No, there's a cycle, and I forget the name of it, and I'll have to think of it. I can't think of it right now.
ATP?
Yeah. Adenosine triphosphate. You nailed it, dude. Have a drink on me.
Biology class.
Yeah, whatever cycle that is. So once you break the oxygen, you're done. I don't know what energy you're talking about. You know, where's it go?
Whatever energy that's animating you.
Well, it's ATP.
Oxygen is not animating you.
it's the sugar cycle of ATP, calories, and whatever. What's animating me is that ice cream cone and that pizza we had.
Yeah, but you can't get an ice cream cone and a pizza and throw it in a bucket and it's going to start talking.
I know, but you can burn it and get a good fire out of it.
It's not going to be talking, though.
Right. I see your point.
Consciousness.
Well, I'm just saying that...
Even the stupidest insect has consciousness.
Yeah, and they have good programming. Like, the beetle would see me come in a shadow and go the other direction.
It's like a little robot. Organic robot.
Right. Well, robots are like life.
Frankenstein.
Great filtering, real quick. A couple points is, people say, are we alone in the universe, right? And here's the universe, it's 13.8, 14 billion years, whatever that means. Here's Earth, 4.5 billion. Some people think maybe we're one of the first life forms in the universe. He said if you look to the end of the universe, if the universe lasted 100 years, right, until everything's a black hole or brown dwarf, whatever, the small remnants of stars, that we're still in January. That's how long it's going to take to get to no stars lit up.
Wow. 100 years from now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I read that today, but not that it matters.
1,200 months.
Yeah.
We're in the first month.
So if we're one of the first life forms, that's kind of cool. If we're like the oldest life form in the universe, that's cool. I don't see how that is. And the filtering they talk about is maybe life forms blow themselves up, or they overpopulate, or they blow their atmosphere up, have a global warming, go to Venus, or they have a virus,
I've heard of
nuclear war.
Someone called it a different thing. It's
Yeah.
like first civilization, second civilization, third civilization. We have to get to some kind of renewable energy and quit using fossil fuels to get to the second phase of civilization.
Right. I mean, I don't want to go down the path, and I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you.
No, according to this guy, I can't remember his name. Probably hardly any civilization gets past the using fossil fuels. If you can't get past using fossil fuels, you won't continue as a civilization.
I agree 100%. But back to the Earth, that's one thing I wanted to hit. The Earth's finite, right? It's a rocky planet. It's
Yep.
somewhere I read, and everything anybody's ever read always has take a grain of salt with it. We've got iron, gold, uranium, all this stuff in our core, right? All those are the products. I think the sun's the third sun that's been in this area. You with me? 2 other suns blew up, and this is anything after iron is a supernova, right? When you fuse chemical elements in fusion in a star's fusion. So anything after iron, so all these heavy stuff that we got.
Okay.
And it's finite. It's not like we're going to fly off the surface with, all millions of tons of iron and uranium, because there's not that much probably.
Okay.
We're stuck here, I don't
Until
know.
we develop another new energy source.
Yeah, until we
Propulsion system.
choke ourselves out with the great
I
filtering.
think once we figure out gravity, we'll be okay.
They can't figure it out. All right, so back to how did we get here? We're speaking English. That's a clue, right?
We came out of the steppes of Eurasia
Yeah, well,
via Africa.
I'm Appalachian white trash, so
You came from Ireland and Scotland.
Scotland and Ireland and England, and Vikings came over in England.
Vikings and Normans.
Did you ever read Guns, Germs, and Steel?
No.
That's a good one, man. I think I gave you that.
A lot of
didn't I?
people don't agree with that.
Right.
They think it's a simplistic view.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least makes you think.
I like his theory about how the east-west mountain ranges and then the north-south mountain ranges
Right.
stopped a lot of civilizations from developing.
Yeah, that's the whole book.
Yeah.
He's like, the latitude of Europe and the latitude of China is about the same. You can grow the same plants.
I think the more difficult your environment is, the more you will develop as a civilization because you have to.
Well, I'm gonna
Plus,
probe that.
you have a long winter time where you can develop your culture.
What about Aleutian Islanders? Where's their space shuttle?
Yeah, I think the closer you live to the equator, the less you have to do to survive.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
You really can just get away with doing nothing.
I think we're coming back to the main topic tonight.
Okay.
Do it all for the nookie. So you kill the dudes in France kill the dudes in Germany, before it's named Germany and France,
Take the women.
for the women, or Spain, and you make tools in your little area in Europe, and you get real competitive.
And the head man gets to have 10 wives. The best choice.
Same today, celebrities, right? All right, so back to how did we get
All right.
here? That was a good digression there.
Very good. We'll never know.
Random chance. Some people could believe in luck. I don't really. I like thinking about luck. I don't really believe in it, but there's a lot of lucky things that happen in a person's life, right?
Yeah, to everybody. You might not even know how lucky it is.
Right. There's luck. There's fortune. Chance is 3. I got a luck book upstairs. That's where I got this from. So you can look back your life and see where you had luck, right? You got luck because your parents loved you, and didn't beat you, didn't sell you off into slavery.
Yeah.
Right. You got lucky. You got to go to college, and
A lot of us just taking advantage of the opportunities.
right.
Choice.
That's yeah.
Chance and choice.
And like you got lucky on certain jobs.
I'll tell you a story about a guy who died in a car wreck. He was stopped at a red light, like you're supposed to do. Someone else ran a red light, head-on collision, killed him instantly, but the person who ran the red light survived. That could happen to anybody at any time.
Yeah.
You might not even know that it may have happened. You might have been at the red light before that accident happened.
Right.
So I guess that's where you'd get the luck in. But what I'm trying to say is you don't know how many times you've been lucky.
Right. Like that tornado 2 weeks ago.
If a tornado came and hit my house, I would have nowhere to go. It's so flat.
Yeah.
There's no basement.
But so I mean, what's the odds on that? We're sitting here watching Easter Sunday night, watching whatever on TV, and then a non-radioactive nuclear bomb rolls through.
There could be variables that we haven't discovered yet that
Right.
tornadoes like.
They said this one landed in the battlefield first near the visitor center, then skipped over here. I don't know how that works.
If they could ever figure out the mathematics of it, that'd be very helpful.
So to your point, I mean, there's a lot of luck you don't even know about.
On an individual level and on a species level and on a planetary level.
Right. On a species level too.
Yeah. Think of all the species that have existed at one time and they're gone now.
Right. I mean, humans get lucky.
I think having self-awareness will help us take advantage of situations. Since we are self-aware, we could understand that, we better watch this, just like this virus thing.
Yeah.
If we weren't conscious beings, we wouldn't know to isolate. So
I mean,
self-awareness helps a lot.
Right. I mean, like some of the things like humans get lucky, and this is a weak example. Say we're going into a solar minimum. Like there was a little ice age, I forget when it was, you probably know better than I do. 16th century?
From like the 16th to the 1850s or something.
They hit off a little ice age. And like say that we were going to hit another one, but we pumped so much CO2 in the atmosphere, kept the Earth world warm. Mm-hmm. That's where humans get lucky.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we're shutting down some CO2 right now.
I don't think a little ice age would hurt us too bad. I mean, they survived through it before they had air conditioning and heat. All they had was wood.
Right.
They just put on thicker clothing.
Yeah. I mean, you got to worry about crop yields and stuff.
I believe there was a year, might have been when a large volcano erupted. They didn't even have a summer that year.
Krakatoa, east of Java.
Yeah, that might have been it.
I'll tell you what the most exciting thing I saw last week was, from a media consumption viewpoint.
Okay.
It got me really fired up, man, was that Post Malone playing that Nirvana set.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I want to bring that up, because first off, I like Nirvana. I love Nirvana. He sounded good. He came in strong. But what was cool and relevant about it, here we are, the year of our Lord 2020. These months seem like they're years, right? Like March took forever, April took forever. Now we're starting May. Hopefully May will go pick up some. So Post Malone, I don't know. I don't know any of his other music. I like him now though. He's a millionaire, super millionaire.
Yeah.
He's on TV all the time. Has concerts, tour buses.
He's going to be even more popular now.
Hit singles, yeah. Been on Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, and he's
only 24.
Right. And he's got the tattoos and all that.
Talk about luck.
Known for, yeah. Well, so he's in his house. So he's a millionaire, right? So he's in his house, and I think he lives in Salt Lake City, he said. And so he's playing in front of his bar. He's got like a wet bar, so got all his alcohol in the back. It's daytime. He's wearing a dress like Nirvana, which is cool. Baseball hat, got his tattoos. Then he's got his buddies in different rooms of his house. Like one guy on the Blink-182 drummer is in one room.
Oh, okay.
And he kills it. And he's got a good guitar player in another room. He's got a bass player in another room. They had such good tone, man. All their guitars were just Steve Albini, perfect Nirvana tone guitars.
I wonder if there was a bunch of sound guys off camera.
They must have been, man. They must have had a ton of...
A dude mixing everything in the back.
So they did like a 15-song set. That's a long set. And if you're a singer, I'm not a singer, to memorize every damn lyric for 15 songs.
Was it live?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they would talk in between the songs, which is the fun part, right? So he'd say, hey, y'all want to eat a beer?
He's probably listened to these songs
Yeah.
Since he's been born. He's
Well,
probably had it memorized.
He's only 24.
Yeah, but listened to him for 24 years.
And he shredded the guitar. He was like, the other guy must have been rhythm guitar, because I think Post was lead guitar. And they went into the first song, which I think was the best one, was Francis Farmer. They came in strong, you know, and a lot of the Nirvana songs are tuned differently, right? So they're tuned down. So in between songs, they'd have to retune. Everybody's retuning their guitars.
Right.
And they're drinking, they're all smoking. Two of them's wearing dresses. They're making jokes. They uses the F word constantly. It's for charity. They'd end up getting like $3 million, $3 to $5 million.
That's crazy.
But it was just so relevant because here we are. We're all sitting home alone, right? We're looking in Post Malone's millionaire house with his, I forget the name of the drink, some kind of Maker's Mark or something on the shelf, and fish flakes for his fish or something on the shelf, and you know, and he's burning cigarettes and he's party rocking, and they're all pumped up and they're all tight and they're all wired and they're getting some jokes off. But it was just real relevant. And then the camera was like a homemade camera, and it would just kind of randomly go to each guy. So like the guy's doing a drum solo, they don't even show the drummer, they're showing somebody else. You know, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, just weird stuff. But it was real relevant and germane. And that got me pumped up.
This quarantine might start a new fad of concerts from the home.
I think music's lost all value now.
I don't think you could have raised $3 million playing in a stadium for charity.
Live Aid.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder how many millions of people watched that.
It's still spinning.
I mean, the first time around.
You mean
live?
Oh, he had a lot. He had
more than that fit in a stadium, I'd imagine.
He said 220,000. I think he said during the concert.
Because you might not like the guy, and you'd never go see him in a million years. But somebody says, "Hey, go turn it on YouTube real quick. Go look up Post Malone, Nirvana." And you don't like the guy, but then you see that and you decide, hey, he's pretty cool.
The other thing that turned me on about it was they had so much energy, man. Like, I miss energy. I used to have energy. I could still get it up in short bursts. Energy. But they, you know, when you got young man energy, right, and you're 24 and there's so much more.
Fame.
And it's just, give me a cigarette, give me a beer. I got a lot of energy. I'm going to beat the shit out of this guitar. We're going to go screaming. Yep. And he nailed the vocals too, but
that's good.
That's the best thing I've seen in a while. So back to, you got BC and AC, right, before coronavirus and after coronavirus. I think music's going to lose its value. Okay.
Why?
It's not going to be bands playing concerts like we were going to go see Shaky Knees in Atlanta. Canceled. You know, going to play again in October. I'm not going down there in October.
I think everything's going to be going to more and more online now. I mean,
right, it's going to be solo people.
It's more convenient.
It'd be like me and my machines trying to make a beat that you like. You're not paying me for it. I'm doing it for myself.
I think music was already going in that direction.
Yeah.
But I think now, instead of all your friends going out to a concert, I think it'd be all your friends coming over to watch the concert on your computer and drink.
Yeah, or even they may not even come over.
You still got to have some interaction.
Yeah.
Still got to have some human face-to-face interaction.
All my rowdy friends have settled down. And then I think restaurants and bars are going to be gone.
Takeout.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll just be open air outside.
I don't know. I mean, the bars are part of the mating ritual, right? So
yeah.
How do you get around that? You say, I ain't worried about coronavirus.
Maybe
I ain't worried about...
people live closer together and more smaller communities, but go outside more.
Everything's time phase too. So humans have a life cycle. When you're in your 20s, you're invincible.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't give a shit if I get coronavirus. I'll beat it.
Get 2 hours of sleep a night.
Give me another cigarette. You know.
It's good times.
I'm 20. I want to find another 20 person. You know, when I say 20 to 30. Then you get old. And you're like, I want to watch ABC News at 6:30.
And you're in your 30s, and you don't go out as often. And
you may pop a kid out in your 30s.
Go to bed a little bit earlier.
You're like, what happened to my childhood? I got this kid now. I got to stay up all night.
Then in your 40s, you only go out once a month maybe, and you go to bed before midnight.
Some people get habits, right? They get habits from college and they just keep drinking. If we're talking about that, we may not be talking about that.
Yeah.
Then you're in your 50s and you're watching Jeopardy.
I think all this about talking about energy and energy levels and living long is all about finding your passion. You'll have more
Yeah.
energy if you have something that you want to do and you love to do. You'll have the energy to do it.
True.
You don't get energy. You don't get energy and then decide to do something. You decide to do something, then find the energy to do it. The energy's always there. You just have to channel it.
I think anger is an energy. Me
No,
and
that is an energy.
Public Image Limited. I always do song references.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard that song.
Emotions in general are pure energy.
Well, you and I talked about last time about emotions being evolutionary advantage. You know,
Yeah.
if somebody did something to me that messed me up and you get angry and you're going to drop the bomb.
Rage.
Someone set us up the bomb. That's a old internet meme.
Emotions are a way to channel the life force. So you gotta try to have good emotions, so you can channel it into good channels.
But back to BC and AC.
Mm-hmm.
AC is going to be the whole different ballgame.
For a while, I think it'll go back to normal.
I don't
Humans
know.
are humans.
I hope you're right. I mean, I hope you're right. It may be 5 years.
Are you gonna let it stop you from doing anything?
Are you going to go to Target without a mask and hang out?
I go to Walmart without a mask. Still,
That's why you give me coronavirus.
I just don't get up. I've never gotten up into people's faces. I've always social distanced even before.
Well, it seems like this thing's like a magic virus, man. Like you just have to be in the same room.
I think it's all about just using your brain, being healthy to start with, and washing your hands, and don't get up into people's faces you don't know.
I think it's toxic plasmosis, man. I think it's just got to.
Personally, myself, I think it's blown out of proportion a little bit
Well, not up
Because-
north.
because the
Yeah.
news loves to make a big
Oh,
deal
I
out
agree.
of
If it
stuff.
bleeds, it leads. I agree. But like when they got like refrigerated semi trucks full of bodies in New York City.
How many people have died up there?
Right now it's 300 a day, but it was 700 a day.
Wow.
I swear to God, it's an accurate number.
How many people live up there? 5 billion, 9 billion?
19 million in the state,
Well, that's a lot of people.
right?
That's less than 0.001%.
Per day,
That's
right?
not bad. I bet more people die than that from other causes per day.
Well, the total number for the United States is 63,000 dead.
Why are they keeping them in refrigerated trucks? Why don't they just...
They don't have any room. All the morgues are full. They can't bury them. They're burying them on some island called Hard Island. Prisoners are burying them. You want to get to New York
Seems to me like more than 700 people die in New York a day anyways.
State. Yeah, well, this is coronavirus death. They can't have funerals.
Well, my great uncle died. They had a service outside that only like very close family could go to, but they didn't have a service like in a funeral home.
Well, that's the news.
Good topic to end on.
That's
My
the
great
news.
uncle's dead.
Sorry about your uncle.
It's okay. He had a good life.
He made it
up
to
until the end.
He made it to AC.
All right, we're just going to end it right here then.
All right.
See y'all tomorrow. See you next week. Have a good one.
See you later.
Bye bye.